What's going on? Welcome to yet another episode of Breakfast with Perkins. I'm, of course, your host, Perkins. How you doing? Hope you had a great weekend and hope your Monday goes phenomenal. Nothing better than kicking off the week on a high note. Though then again, kicking off the week on a low note, when it can only go so low, can only go high from there. I guess actually, the adverse, would be better. If you start off on a high note, that's as high as the week goes. And then where do you go from there? It's like someone gives you your first car and your first car is a Koenigsegg. Well, where the fuck do you go from there? But someone gives you your first car is a Toyota Corolla. There's a lot of room for creeping up the old happiness meter there. You know what I'm saying? At any rate, hope you had a great weekend and hope the beginning of your week is good. Let's jump right into it. I'm not even going to sit here and do my little preamble. I wanted to talk about dating and my personal interactions with dating as a 33-year-old mixed race man in 2024. I don't know if the mixed race thing has anything to do with it. We'll get to that later. Sopranos reference right out the gate. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking. We'll get to that later. Jamal Ginsburg, Hasidic homeboy. Anyway. Dating in 2023, I feel like 2024, Jesus, has been a complete, it feels like it's a complete minefield with, comparatively so to dating 10 years ago. And I remember when I was dating, 20, 21, 22, yeah, it was, a bit of a shit show, but navigating through the courses of dating, getting women to cooperate and all this stuff like that. And I don't mean cooperate in like a subservient way. I'm just saying like, oh, hey, you make plans, she comes through, bam, you're eating tacos. I'm going to clarify myself. And that seems like in 2024, as a 33-year-old, it has gotten a lot crazier and more hectic to navigate through. I think the reason why it was so much easier a decade or so ago was because, for me personally, let me know if you feel the same way, but I feel that my threshold for fuckery and red flags was like low. Early 20s, yeah, you're not really checking for red flags. Now, there was a few, but I think, at least for me in my early 20s, you're not really looking for longevity. You're just looking for like the next port to dock the ship. You know what I'm saying? You're not really looking for, is the port clean? How many ships are already docked at this port? How many, any crazy reconstruction going on at this port? You're trying to dock the ship. You don't give a fuck what's going on. And I think as you get older, and I think this is for a lot of people, especially going from 20s to 30s, is your threshold and limit for bullshit gets higher and higher and higher and higher. So whereas before, it's easy to pick, you got, 20 people to choose from, 15 of them are good looking, 13 of them are competent. There you go. You got your pick of the thing. But then nowadays, so you got 20 people, let's say, 15 of them are good looking, 12 of them though just made some poor life decisions, barred licenses out the wazoo, drinking problems, drug addictions, 18 fucking kids by 4 different dudes. It's ridiculous, and that's another thing, I guess. Let me jump into that. The whole kid thing. It's an interesting thing dating now because you have this whole MGTOW movement and this red pill and this black pill. And you got all these different kinds of movements. And there's gonna be a lot of jumping around here. It's gonna be like a Tarantino film. There's gonna be a lot of moving all over the place. I would say that my brain has been kind of molded in a way that has kind of hindered my dating career in my 30s, in the sense that, and I'm completely aware of this, by the way, and I know it's not 100% true, but there is some validity to it, in the sense that you see these Andrew Tates, and you see these Fit and Freshes, and you see these Kevin Samuels clips and stuff like that. And one clip that I saw, I think it was from Andrew Tate, he had said, he's like, imagine you're a woman and you have all these dudes in your inbox. Would you date you? And I sit there and I'm thinking like, yeah, I don't make $1 million a week. I don't. Why would a chick? Now, I 100% know that is a flawed thought process. I'm 100% and acutely aware of that because I've gone out with women that appreciate, just, I guess, normal dudes or whatever. Like, oh, hey, nice car. I drive a regular traffic car. Like, there's nothing insane about my car. Oh, hey, nice car. Oh, you smell good. Oh, I had such a great time getting, tacos tonight. We're not going to Fleming's. We're not going to Ruth's Chris. We're just doing basic stuff. And so I know in my own personal dating experiences that these normal women, they're abundant. These normal women, not everyone's out there to, sack chase and get money. But being on the social media run, you're led to believe this. And yeah, it is, I guess there's some women that are out there, but I think it's a very small, very vocal minority on there. Just like anything else you see on social media that make it seem like everyone's rolling around on Rolls Royces, eating at the best Michelin star restaurants and all this. It's a very, 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 very small minority that just happen to be very loud. So then you're thinking, oh, well, this is how it must be. And I think that's a lot of people see stuff on social media. They'll get false ideologies of what a relationship should be. And I've kind of tapped into that thinking like, well, I'm none of these dudes that I'm seeing on social media. I'm not pulling up in a Yaris with a bouquet of roses. I'm not flying chicks out, getting flued out. I'm not flying chicks out to, Dubai to spend a week with me and all that stuff like that. Like, what shot have I got? And again, I'm 100% aware that is not the case. I know there's a lot of women that don't think that way, but I've just mind-fucked myself into thinking that that's the case. So dating for me personally, I guess, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's social media's fault. I take 100% responsibility for it. I completely get it. It's just a mentality that I can't shake. That's just me personally. And I don't know if it's like that for other men. And it's not really you're comparing yourself to other men. It's just like I look at other dudes and I'm like, well, yeah, why? If I, meet a chick and there's me and then this dude, why she wouldn't pick me? I don't know. That's just one thing I've tried to shake. And then the whole red pill movement. It's an interesting thing. The impact, I guess, that red pill has had on. The whole MGTOW has had on dating in 2022, 23, 24, mainly with people like Myron, I think is that his name, from Fit and Fresh and stuff like that. And these guys are, I don't know. It's real. You listen to it at first and it's like, no, I completely get it. No, what he's saying makes sense. And then you start to dissect what's going on, and it's just like, God, that can't be true for everyone. And then you see some of these guys that do this whole red pill movement, and they're not the. You can tell a lot of these dudes probably got turned down by a lot of women in their youth, or got burned by a lot of women throughout the course of their life. So it's much easier for these dudes to say, fuck women, we don't need them, I'm writing them off completely, than it is to just own up to, what can I change about myself? What can I do? Now, a lot of the time, it isn't the guy's fault. Sometimes you just happen to pick a batch of chicks. But if you constantly are picking bad chicks, same with chicks that constantly pick bad dudes, if it's a constant thing happening, that's a you issue. That's all there is to it. Like I said, one or two failed ones, that's fine. But if you're constantly just picking wrong people, you need to have an introspective look at yourself and figure out, what am I doing wrong? What are we doing? What's the thing here? Like I said, this is going to be all over the place, so I apologize if it's jumping around, because it's jumping around. Kids, dating women with kids in, I guess, any length of time, any period. I was kind of really, let's see, my first girlfriend, she didn't have kids. Second girlfriend had one. Third girlfriend had 3. And there was nothing wrong with the kids. All the kids across all the relationships were awesome. They were super cool. But it adds a level of complexity to a relationship when you throw kids in. Especially someone else's kids that you have no tie to, no connection to. And I personally think that dating anyone with kids, or it's a man dating a woman with kids, or a woman dating a man with kids, I feel like that I don't feel like there's anything in it for the person with no kids. I don't see there's no benefit that comes to the person that's dating the person with kids. Because worst case scenario, say you guys break up, whatever it is, then you're out all that time invested into this kid. You're not the parent, so you don't even have rights to the kid, none of that shit. That's worst case. Best case scenario is you do stick with this person. Say this kid goes on to do great things or whatever like that, but that's not the heir. That's not your seed. That's not carrying on a family name. That's you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the main reason to have kids is to create legacies, tax write-offs, and just kind of keep the family name going. Like, I'm in my immediate family, there's a couple other Perkins males, but in the immediate family, I'm the only Perkins male. Like, my cousins, they're not Perkinses, because I have all chick cousins, so none of them are Perkinses. I do have a couple of cousins that are Perkinses, but in the immediate family, like, if I don't have kids, like, the Perkins name dies with me. Now, I could go get with a woman that has kids, and I could raise those kids like my own, love them like my own, which I think is a fallacy. I'll get to that in a second. And all this stuff like that. But it's not carrying on my bloodline. That kid's got no tie to me. There's no genetic connection there. So I feel like it's kind of like what am I doing? Now, I'm not saying if you get with someone, don't love the kid and all that stuff like that. By the way, that whole thing with loving your kids like your own, that may work if the person doesn't have kids, but if you're bringing kids into a relationship and they're saying love your kids, love the other person's kids like your own kids, that's bullshit, and I'm going to tell you why. Say you have your own kid sitting there. Someone's got the tool pointed to him. And over here you got your partner's kid. Someone's got the tool pointed to them as well. And they say you can only pick one to live. Which one you picking? You don't need to answer. I already know the answer. 10 times out of 10, you're picking your own kid. Why? Because your own kid's going to take precedence over the one that's not your own flesh and blood. So you can love someone else's kid, but you can never love it like your own, with the exception being if you don't already have kids. So, like me, I guess I could love another kid as my own. But now if I already had kids, there's not a shot in hell. No, absolutely not. One thing that's also, I think, impacting dating a lot is, how long have we gone here? Let's see, what are we at? About 14 minutes. One thing I think also that's impacting dating a lot is the unrealistic expectations of, I guess, the unrealistic expectations of yourself. You get people that have these really deluded senses of reality. What am I talking about? Okay, just yank one out of thin air here. We'll go with the guys, because I always talk shit about the women. So say for a guy, you are, insanely obese, you got no job, you don't look good, just a lot of negatives going against you. Yeah, you feel like you deserve someone, gorgeous, who's got her shit together, all this shit like that. That's not... Why? Why would they choose you? You have to have a realistic expectation of yourself. And then once you have that expectation of yourself, then you can apply that to the dating circle and know, okay, hey, this is where I'm ranked. Let me get someone who's even, right there. Now, I say that to say this. I don't think anyone is out of anyone's league, per se. I feel like anyone can get anyone with the right tools. But you have to have those right tools. So yeah, you may look like dog shit, but if you're extremely funny, Humor's insane. You make a chick laugh. I've seen some fugly looking dudes pull some good looking women because they're funny people. I was one of those people in my late teens. But yeah, you just have to have that realistic expectation of yourself. Or the fact like, okay, we'll go to the more obvious thing. If you're a woman, you got 3 kids by 3 dudes. Talking about you deserve the world. Like, you need a guy to roll out the red carpet for you. Oh, we're not going to have sex. I'm going to make him wait. And all this stuff like that. Like, make him wait. You didn't make those 3 dudes wait. Now you're making this dude wait. He's the one that has to deal with all your baggage of 3 kids by 3 dudes, seeing kids come and go out the house, getting picked up by 3 different dudes, all this crazy shit like that. And you're talking about he needs to wait? In what world does that make sense? That doesn't make sense at all. That's crazy. So I think skewed views of oneself really hurt the dating market. I see it mostly with women. Some men have really deluded not personalities, deluded ideas of themselves, but I see it a lot with women as well, thinking that they're the prize, they're the takeaway. No, that's not it at all. That's just, I don't know. So I guess it comes down to like, I don't even know what it comes down to. It's I'm gonna have to make this a 2-parter because I'm looking at a list right here of different things that I want to talk about. So I'm trying to interweave them all together. But yeah, I think realism. But you also got to think you're the shit too. I think there's a fine line between delusional and confident. Obviously, I don't think that everyone knows that. There's a fine line between delusional and confident. Now, knowing what you're about, because it's tried and true, you've been told by other people that are corroborating how you feel about yourself and what you're about and all that stuff, that's completely fine. But if you're out here with this mentality that you are just on top of the world, but you've done nothing, no one's ever told you anything of, no dude has ever gone up to a chick that's dusty as fuck and pumped her up not wanting to fuck. Jesus Christ, that was a roundabout way of saying stuff. I guess what I mean is, a lot of women will get attention from dudes, and they think that attention is equivalent to worth, which is not the case at all. That's not. I've dated a couple women in my time where they think, 100 dudes in the inbox means I could go get any guy. Yeah, guys fuck vacuum cleaners. Yeah, of course, guys. You look good, guys. Of course, guys will want to bang you. That's not here. Who wants to have a future? Women always talk about how many guys they could get. I don't care about how many guys a woman could get. How many guys can you keep? That's my thing. And then you get into that whole thing about, oh well, I don't want to keep a man. That's not my goal. This, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know how much time is that in here. That's probably about 19 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna make this a 2-parter. I'm gonna try to make my next part more concise because this was bouncing all around. But yeah, I could talk about things like interracial dating, interreligion dating, dating foreign people, all that stuff like that. I think that'd be interesting thing to talk about. But I'll go ahead and land the plane right there. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, check out the other videos on here. Give me some feedback. Come in here, talk shit. Whatever you want to do, just interact. It's fun. Keeps me happy. But I appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next week.